Welcome to the Riskwiser Zone, the show where we dive into the world of finance and explore the risks and opportunities that shape our global economy. I'm your host, Lewis, and I'm excited to have you join me today. We're starting off with a story that's been making waves in the financial markets. The ongoing conflict in Iran has been causing inflation concerns, and Federal Reserve officials are taking notice. According to recent minutes released by the Fed, a majority of officials believe that interest rate hikes may be necessary if inflation continues to run above the target 2% rate. This news comes as the Fed kept its benchmark rates steady at its most recent meeting, but the minutes reveal a growing concern among policymakers about the impact of the Iran war on prices. With energy costs soaring and core inflation climbing, officials are debating how long the war's impact will last and whether it will require a change in monetary policy. The new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, will face the challenge of navigating these uncertain waters. With market pricing pointing to a higher probability of a rate hike by late 2026 or early 2027, Warsh will need to balance the competing pressures of inflation and economic growth. It's a complex and nuanced situation, and we'll be keeping a close eye on developments as they unfold. The Fed's next move will have significant implications for investors and consumers alike, and we'll be exploring all the angles in the coming weeks and months. For now, it's clear that the Iran conflict is having far-reaching consequences for the global economy. As we continue to monitor the situation, one thing is certain: the road ahead will be filled with risks and opportunities. We'll be right back with more from the world of stocks and finance on the Riskwiser Zone. Welcome back to the Riskwiser Zone. As we continue our journey through the world of finance and innovation, we're shifting our focus to the realm of clinical trials and biotechnology. In a fascinating development, Poland is eyeing a fast-track reform for early-stage clinical trials, aiming to strengthen its position as one of Europe's leading clinical trial hubs. This move could have significant implications for the country's economy, healthcare system, and scientific capacity. By introducing a dedicated 14-day fast-track pathway for early-phase clinical trials, Poland hopes to attract up to 311 additional commercial trials annually, generating substantial savings for the healthcare system and boosting innovation, employment, and scientific capacity. The report, commissioned by major organizations representing Poland's clinical research sector, argues that shortening registration procedures for Phase 1 and 2 clinical trials could lead to a Pareto effect in healthcare, where a relatively small number of highly innovative therapies account for a disproportionately large share of system-wide spending. This shift could save the state nearly €23 million in public spending each year. Moreover, the reform could generate up to 1,300 new jobs, including more than 700 positions for highly specialized medical professionals such as investigators and clinical trial coordinators. As Michał Zubdir-Jumraz from the Polish Network of Economics noted, the fast-track pathway is an opportunity to strengthen Poland's scientific capacity through high-quality research. The implementation of this proposed reform will ensure full synergy with forthcoming EU regulations, such as the European Biotech Act. With the total annual added value generated by the reform potentially exceeding €60 million, it's clear that Poland is taking a significant step towards becoming a major player in the global biotechnology landscape. As we consider the potential impact of this reform, it's essential to remember that the world of clinical trials and biotechnology is constantly evolving. Welcome back to the Riskwiser Zone. As we wrap up today's show, I'd like to take a moment to talk about a fascinating trend that's been gaining traction in the United States. With gas prices soaring, Americans are being forced to rethink their daily habits and find creative ways to cope with the financial strain. We've all heard the saying, necessity is the mother of invention, and this couldn't be more true when it comes to the current state of fuel prices. From using public transportation to staying close to home, People from all walks of life are adapting to the new reality. Some are even finding opportunities in the economic pain, like pitching sleepaway camp as a cost-saving measure for parents. According to recent polls, 44% of Americans have cut back on driving, and it's not hard to see why. With the average cost of regular gasoline hovering around $4.52 per gallon, filling up the tank has become a significant expense. But amidst all the challenges, there are also stories of resilience and resourcefulness. Take, for example, the story of Renee Tochi, who's using social media to promote sleepaway camp as a way for parents to save on fuel costs. Or consider Daphne Flores, who switched to public transit to get around Los Angeles, editing videos on the bus and avoiding parking costs. As we navigate these uncertain times, it's essential to stay informed and adapt to changing circumstances. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, it's crucial to be aware of the potential risks and opportunities that arise from shifting consumer behaviors. So, what can we take away from this trend? For one, it's clear that Americans are willing to make significant changes to their daily lives in response to economic pressures. This could have far-reaching implications for industries ranging from transportation to tourism. As investors, it's essential to stay vigilant and consider the potential impact of these changes on our portfolios. Whether you're invested in traditional energy sources or renewable alternatives, it's crucial to understand the evolving landscape and adjust your strategy accordingly. That's all for today's Riskwiser Zone. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, keep your finances in check.